and Rowan's in the boot somewhere, but so is all of our stuff. This video is going to be a little bit different. We're on our way to Whitby at the moment. We're getting quite close. I think Satnav said about 24 minutes. I've been in the car since 10 o'clock and it's, well, 9:30 and it's now 1:15, so it's been a bit of a trek to get here, but the scenery's stunning. And we're going to get married tomorrow, so I thought I'd vlog a little bit of what we're doing, get some plein air painting done, maybe start on Nasby's draw stuff outside. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the plan for this week. I'm going to try and get you some scenic shots as well, because I can see it but I don't think you can, so I'm just going to flick the camera.
See the nuclear early warning system up there in the...
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that big triangular thing.
Oh yeah. So whilst you watch some pretty scenery and a bit of the car bonnet, I'm just going to explain what actually I managed to get done over this weekend. So we didn't get out and do any plein air painting, we just kind of enjoyed the weekend and took it easy. I did get started on Nasby's draw stuff outside, but I took all of that footage on my actual proper camera and the SD card. When I went to put that into the Mac to start editing, it had lost that footage, so there was some previous footage on there that the videos were playable for, but the videos that I'd taken of doing Nasby's draw stuff outside just hadn't recorded properly. There were, I don't know, the icon was there for the video, but it wouldn't play, so I don't know quite what happened there. We think it's something to do with the formatting of the SD cards, but I've not really had the best luck with them recently.
I see the sea, I win.
Such a giant. It's one of those things, because we live so far inland.
Yeah, we're about as landlocked as you get in the Midlands.
Yeah.
I see the Abbey as well.
Oh,
look over in the distance, you can see the Abbey.
Yeah, you can. I wonder if I can zoom in on it. Yeah, just about. So this is Draw Stuff Outside by Nasby. It's a prompt book with 50 prompts in it. It's very cutesy, as you'd expect from Emma. I think it's more geared towards children, but actually it doesn't really matter, because a prompt is a prompt if you're an artist or pretending to be artist like me, and it gives you somewhere to start and helps refine your ideas. It's got all these cute little creatures in it, and every time you complete a prompt you collect the creature, so it's super cute. And that's what we're going to do throughout the vloggy bits of today's video. As we continue to drive into Whitby, I will go through the 3 prompts that I decided to use for this video. So we've got the first prompt, which is Ewan, and it's feel an unusual texture and draw the first thing that comes to mind. Take a rubbing of that texture too. We also did number 10, flint. Paint a rock and leave it somewhere for others to find. Draw a picture of it or stick a photo of it here. And then lastly, we collected hazel, which is number 28. Draw around an unusual object and turn the outline into whatever it brings to mind first. Turn left onto Abbey Lane. We arrived a little bit early and couldn't check in yet, so we parked up at the Abbey, which was a stone's throw from where we were staying anyway. You'll see it in a little bit. And decided to wander into Whitby and have a bit of a wander around. Just said bit of a far too many times there. Rowan was his usual draggy pulley self. No, yeah, you're not going into the stinky kipper shop. The steps we walked down are actually just like, they're a quieter version of the 199 steps. The 199 steps are always mobbed by tourists and people visiting the area for the first time, so we tend to stick to the other ones rather than those ones. But we did go up and down the I want to say proper ones, but you know what I mean. We went up and down those a few times, so got some hill reps in for those who run out there. What we're doing here at the moment is just wandering out onto one of the pier things that surrounds the harbour. It was very, very, very blowy, and I didn't want to stop out there too long, but it's absolutely beautiful. If I'd had my painting stuff on me at that point in time, I probably would have forced Terry to sit whilst I painted for about half hour. But yeah, there was no way. Just after having got out the car after a 4 hour journey and with the dog, it was going to be very, very difficult. So we decided to go off and find some food. Fish and chips by the seaside. You can't really get much better than that. At that point, we bumped into some of my family as well. So we had a bit of a natter before picking up some essentials and then wandering back up to where we were staying. So where we were staying was right next to the Abbey. What we've seen us just walk down is kind of the entrance to the Abbey Museum. There were some other dogs off the lead there wanting to play with Rowan. So I do love watching dogs play. They're always so happy, especially when you get a chance to let them off and let them run around and enjoy it. I don't always trust Rowan in places we haven't been because he can get kind of carried away in his nose, and when he's in his nose, he forgets he has ears. Anyway, this is where we were staying. We are just behind us is the Abbey, and just in front of us is a row of cottages. I don't know why I stood there for so long, just filming nothing. Never mind. And we actually had to drive down this little driveway. It looks like you're going to drive into somewhere you shouldn't be driving to. So it was very, very strange and took us a minute before we were happy to do it. But it was just the most perfect place to. I've just noticed that I told him to run and we're running. He loves running. It was just the most perfect place to stay, especially given that we were here to get married and we were staying in this end cottage at the top of the cliff by the Abbey, and you can kind of see which cottage we're at from the other side of Whitby as well, so you can see, and we have views all around. We had the Abbey behind us, we had the River Esk up towards the left, we had the town out in front of us, and we had the sea out towards the right as well. It was stunning. It was the best place. It was actually on these grounds here of this little end cottage that I took some stone rubbings for that first prompt that I mentioned earlier, because the stones here are just the gorgeous. This is inside the little place we were staying at. Don't know how Terry managed to find it, but he found it. He booked it. He did so well. It was spacious. It had all your home comforts. It had like the charm of the area as well as being modern enough to suit your comfort needs. I could swear this particular seat, if it had some nice cushions there, you could sit there and just watch outside all day quite easily. You can see how so much art gets produced of the area and why there are so many paintings of these sorts of seascapes, because it's just so inspiring. I just wanted to sit and watch it. To be fair, I could have also climbed up onto that work surface and just sat in the kitchen window and watched out that window for ages. The only thing that was disappointing was a bit that the window was dirty. Master bedroom as well, which was nice. What was also great was that they all had doors out into that little courtyard. So this is the stone that inspired the idea for the first prompt from Emma's book. I thought it looked like shelves. So I immediately thought of a library, and when I did the rubbings I thought it looked like snakeskin, so we came up with Claudette the crayon snake. I felt like a creature or a character was quite fitting for the first prompt in Emma's book, because that's what she does. She does it really well, and I attempted to do some of it. Crayon snakes are very rare, and crayon creatures leave a crayon trail on anything they touch, with only a few exceptions. Claudette is also a librarian, which poses a problem as the books she touches get covered in crayon. That's why she has an entire shelf or stack of books that are all her own. And what she secretly does in her own spare time is touches the books she doesn't want anyone else to read, because she wants to read them first. The other librarians therefore gave her a book on library etiquette and on how to behave correctly in a library. And whilst I've been telling you about Claudette, I included a few quick snaps of the wedding and pictures that other people took. The day after, we then wandered back into Whitby and found this gorgeous. Well, this wasn't the day after; it was the day after the day after. So possibly the Sunday. Gorgeous coffee shop called Mr. Cooper's Coffee House. If you ever go to Whitby, promise you will not regret going to this place. I am lactose intolerant and can't eat anything with dairy in it. I always look for good vegan options, and this place had so many really good vegan options. It had a steaming hot banana pudding thing with chocolate chips in it and some yogurt on it, and a filthy hot chocolate, and I swear it was one of the best things I've had. So these are the stones that we picked up from the driveway in Whitby after I painted them. They're outside because I had to varnish them as well to make sure that the paint would stay in place, and I've done them double-sided. I could have put patterns around the edges of them, but I quite like to have a bit of the natural stone showing as well. So then there's the fish after it's been eaten as well. So we have the cat eating its fish in Whitby. The cat is not the best cat I've ever drawn, and that's going to be represented on the paper page as well. Used metallic Poscas for background and the grass. I'm pleasantly surprised and pleased with Mr. Fishy. Doesn't look very happy, but that's probably because he's about to be eaten. So we're out walking the dog, and it's time to put these somewhere in public for someone else to pick up. Just going to pop them up there on that, and we'll hopefully see that somebody picks them up. This is a regular walking route, so yeah, bye bye. And thanks to the power of editing, we are back in Whitby. So whilst we were also so close to the Abbey and so close to the town, we were also just about a 2-minute walk away from Whitby Distillery. So they also have a little pub out the front. So we decided on a cold afternoon to take a wander up to the little bar area and just to try that place out with the dog. And that's what we're doing here. It's nice and relaxed and chilled, and it's nice to sit and have a drink and enjoy the time. I mean, what we tend to find is at home, neither of us are particularly big drinkers. And if we go out anywhere, one of us has to drive, generally speaking. So it was nice to be able to walk somewhere with the dog and then walk back as well. So yeah, super pleasant. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the last prompt. So last prompt was to draw around an unusual object and turn it into something else. This is what we ended up with. I drew around the rocks. So the centre of that flower is the bigger, more rounder rock, and then the petals are the longer shaped rock. I thought it was a nice way to kind of incorporate that other bit of Whitby into the book. Did it all with alcohol markers, and I didn't follow any kind of guideline, any kind of tutorial. I just did what felt right. And you know what? I did use really thin, sort of cheaper than printer paper, and they worked really well. They blended out super nicely. They were the Ohuhu ones, so I'd expect them to work nicely. But yeah, yeah, I was super pleased with that. And before we knew it, that was the prompts done, and that's us on our way out of Whitby, driving through all the little areas that didn't look like they should be driven through, on our way home after a really well enjoyed long weekend away. Just us and the dog. It doesn't happen very often, and we just really enjoyed it. That's why I didn't feel pressured to make any extra art, because I've still got all of this footage that I can refer to and use. I took loads of reference images so that can influence what I do in the future. If you are interested in seeing what I do in the future, please hit subscribe, like the video if you like the video, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. Have you been to Whitby? Have you got Emma's book? Let me know. Let me know how you would have handled those prompts, and how would you have handled losing all the footage. that I'd lost. I've done my best with what I did have, which was basically nothing. So you haven't seen how I created any of the bits and pieces that I've created. You just kind of have to take my word for what I've done, but it is what it is. Couldn't be helped. Skipped last week's video, and this is what we've got this week. Hope you all enjoyed it, and have a great week yourselves. Bye.